Okay, so this morning, I told you last time, I'd show you the difference between acrylics and oils. And this is a sugar skull. And it's being done in a combination of both. So I'm able to show you what I mean about the difference in working with the two. Right now, I'm just cleaning it up a little bit, going over where some of the paint has spread out that I don't want it to, with the white filling it back in so that I can cover it up. And this will work. That's why I tell you don't worry about the little spot you make, because this fills it in very nicely and then you can go on. This one has some neon paints on him, and that's excuse me, the neons are the oils, and so it's had time to dry. The non-neons are the acrylics. So you'll see a difference in the color of the paint and also in how quick it dries. The oils have set for a couple of days now and have had a chance to dry. The acrylics only need to set. I like to let them set 24 hours before I go on. The other thing with using the acrylics, which maybe is a little better for you starting out than the oils, if you're a little more impatient or a little indecisive about what you want to do with your piece, this is a good time to experiment. This is a little more extensive piece, maybe a little more detailed than a lot of you are going to start out with, and that's fine. I just want to show you the difference between using an oil and an acrylic. Now all I'm doing here is just base coating over some of the spots, and that's fine. These are oil paints. These are oil paints. These are the acrylics. And you can see a difference in the texture and the color. The oils tend to be a little more matte, and that's okay too, because it will have a gloss when we put our finishing spray on. So even though it doesn't gloss as much or isn't as bright as the oils, it will be when we put our finish on it. So don't worry about that either. It will fill in and look great. Okay, now the other thing about the acrylics is they can be washed with just water. Oils cannot. So the acrylics wash out much cleaner and much quicker. This piece is a piece I've been working on for a while, so there's been some experimenting going on with it. When it's done, as you can see, it'll have a glitter coat so that the whole thing will look glittery and sparkly and stand out that way. Now I decided that on the leaves on the top, you can see them here along the top. I think I want to do a not fluorescent color because this is all going to be green. So I don't want to really do it in a green either, but I do want a color that's going to stand out. So I have decided that I'm going to do it in a dark blue. Now, I like to use the artist's skill. It's just a personal preference of mine. But I do like the colors better. Let's go with this blue. So I'm putting a blueberry. It's called a blueberry on it. And just simply because I just want it a little different. It's a sugar skull. And so therefore it doesn't have to be like puritanical, I guess, or on point. So I'm a little freer with my imagination to make it however I want. Now the thing about the acrylics, I do them like all my other paints. I do them not so thick the first coat. So it takes a couple of coats on mine to make them the way I want them. But again, that's your preference. You can make it either a dark or a light. This is a lighter coat right now. But when I let this dry and go back and fill it in, it'll become a darker coat again. As you can see, it's a lighter coat right now, and you can still see some of the white. So I will paint these all this color. And usually this acrylic dries very quickly. This is another reason I use this particular brand, because it dries very quickly. And the reason I tell you 24 hours is it's not just one coat I'm going to put on here. It's going to be several coats. So once I get them on, it'll take 24 hours for them to dry completely all the way through. Then I'll go back and I'll fill in wherever the white needs filled in. But this is my leaves, if you will. Also, you can see I've added a stone to this one, and that's fine. I keep bags of things around to use. I keep a bag of stones. I keep a bag of sequins. I keep different things. The reason I do that is because not all my pieces are just painted. Some of them have like the stone on the back. You'll see it there in the center of the flower. It adds a little depth and texture to it. So I keep little bags of those around. I have a bag of stones. I keep I have a bag of, these are little jewels. All kinds of colors of little jewels. And they're all different sizes. I'll put those on. These are different sizes I use. And also you'll see in here in this bag, I have some Swarovski crystals. Swarovski crystals. Can't say that word, but here they are. And they're on a chain, so I can take my little clippers I have here and clip off whatever I want. So I can make like a chain on it, or make a crown around the head, or whatever I want to do with it. It just adds some texture to it. That's what makes it my piece, I guess. So when people order things for me, even though they order a sugar skull, they're never going to get the same sugar skull as someone else. They're going to get their very own sugar skull. I do it with all my figurines. Some I use, I keep a bag of cotton balls, because cotton balls I can dab and add texture. So I keep a bag of those. So every piece is different and unique. And it's my imagination. I get to use my imagination however I want to make my piece. And that's what I think I find so enjoyable and so relaxing about what I do. This is the green glitter that will eventually go on top. And I get it at Walmart. it's a cheap glitter. I think the next piece I do, I don't know if the whole skull will be covered in it, but some of the skull is going to have this. It's a fluorescent orange. It's a really bright, pretty orange. So, this is your imagination. This is your piece. Make it any way you want. Make it look however you want. I'm going to turn my fan on here and dry this a little bit for time's sake so we can move on. And while that side's drying, I'll put some coat on this side. Your piece will start to take shape. And what I like to do is, when I get a piece, I don't like to look at it and go, oh, I'm going to paint this, that. And I don't put that pressure on myself. What I do is I get a piece and I set for a day or two and look at it. And then I just start. I just start painting. And it comes to me. Like when I bought Mickey Mouse, I had no idea he was going to be a creepy Mickey. I just liked the bank. I also have Minnie, so I'll have a set, Mickey and Minnie. I'll show you her later. That are going to be creepy. These eyes are done in oils, and I'm not real happy with the way they turned out. So I'm not sure they'll stay that way. We may cover them up and start again. Sometimes I do several times on a piece. This piece has been painted, covered up and painted again about 3 times. So if you don't get it exactly the way you want it the first time, don't be hard on yourself. You'll get there. Okay, that's dried enough that we can darken it a little more. And like I said, I like to layer my colors on. They stick better. They work a little better. Now, I work mainly in just the oils and the acrylics. I have a daughter who paints also, and she likes to use the pastel watercolors. I don't like those as well. It's harder to keep them on the piece. They wear off quicker. And they're made for pieces that are not going to be touched. So keep that in mind. You can work with them, but they are a little more difficult. So that will do it for this session. I thank you for joining me. As always, get creative. Just be creative.